Ibadan or your state brings you wholesome programs for you and your family.
A very beautiful morning to you. Welcome to Perspectives Unlimited on Wales Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. Perspectives Unlimited is that platform where we go beyond the news to help you make sense of some of the stories across our various national dailies. So alongside with our analysts in the studio this morning, we'll delve into the dailies with the hope to help you understand and keep you abreast about happenings around Nigeria as it is in our national dailies. My name is Toluwaleke Ali. You can watch us live on Facebook at Wales Radio 893 FM fan page, at Wales Radio 893 FM fan page, and on YouTube as well. We are live at Wales Radio 89.3 FM. On YouTube, Wales Radio 89.3 FM. You can also watch live right there or listen via our website at www.walesradio893.com. www.walesradio893.com. Let's check out the front pages across some of our national dailies this morning. From the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning, above the masthead, why we are not applying for loan. Southeast students. That story can be found in the Nation newspaper this morning. Ekiti recruits 500 for Amotekun. 10 million out-of-school pupils for classrooms within 2 years. That's on page 6. The lead story reads, I remain focused on reforms despite criticisms, says Tinubu. And it has a rider, Lamido asks federal government to pay 45 billion naira owed Abiola. The story begins on the front page and continues on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Dignitaries bid Clark farewell, and that also begins on the front page and continues on page 4 of the Nation newspaper this morning. APC takes a majority in Senate to 68, and it has a rider, 3 Kebbi senators defect. The story begins on the front page and continues on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Court fixes June 27 for judgment in Natasha's suit against Akpabio. Others. To check more on that story, check out page 6 of the Nation newspaper. And those are the stories on the front page of the Nation newspaper for this morning. Moving on to the Punch newspaper, the lead story reads, Mass failure, JAMB, VCs to review UTME results Thursday. And it has a rider, rectors, provosts, principals, examiners to meet JAMB chiefs. Candidates decry result discrepancies. And the story can be found on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Above the masthead, political firefight, Saraki panel mobilizes PDP bigwigs against defections. And that's on page 2. Fuel import ban fears reignite Dangote. Marketers row. And that's on page 35. 9 banks earn 2.8 trillion naira interest on 61.6 trillion naira loans. And that's on page 37. Tinubu, Akpabio, governors pay Clark final respect. That story is on page 23 of the Punch newspaper. Cash transfer missed millions of needy Nigerians. That's coming from the World Bank. And the story is on page 35. Obasa, APC protesters clash over local government primary outcome. And that's on page 34 of the Punch newspaper. And the final story on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, U.S. shares Wigwe's helicopter crash report with federal government, and that's on page 36. Moving on to the front page of the Guardian newspaper, Ganduje, wife, others to face prosecution as court rejects application over alleged fraud. And the story is on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper. Nigeria loses $18 billion to illicit financial flows as debt servicing gobs 70% of revenue. That's on page 3. Reps reject bill proposing rotational presidency. And the story can be found on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. The lead story reads, National Security Summit. Stakeholders reject plan. Flay stalled proposals. High military casualties. And the story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. UNICEF links 50% of childhood death in Nigeria to malnutrition. And that's on page 30. UTME, 19-year-old commits suicide in Lagos over low score. And that's on page 9. NIDCOM confirms 20 million Nigerians abroad as migration dialogue emphasizes protection. And that's on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Nigerians brace for impact as U.S. proposes 5% tax on remittances. And that's on page 2. Nigeria must work, says Obasanjo, as Lamido seeks closure to June 12 saga. And the story can be found on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Egypt's lauds additional for transforming Nigeria. That story is on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper for today, above the masthead, PDP affirms Koshiod Edo as acting national secretary, and it says a rider denies rift over Anambra Guba nomination. That's on page 3. Senate worries over resurgence of Boko Haram in Borno, Yobe, killing of 12 soldiers, calls for swift military action. And that's on page 8. The lead story reads, PDP senators drop to 30 as Aliero, 2 other Kebbi senators join APC. And that's on page 5. Tinubu, Jonathan, Akpabio, Delta Governor, others honor Edwin Clark. And it has a rider celebrate him as fearless statesman. And the story can be found on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper for this morning. Osun Assembly endorses Adeleke for second term. That's on page 4. Food security. Federal government rates Ekiti high in agricultural investment. To read more on that story, check out page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Reps rejects bill on rotational presidency among 6 geopolitical zones. That's on page 4. June 12, Lamido urges Tinubu to settle 45 billion naira owed Abiola family. And it has to rider, Nigeria not where it should be, coming from Obasanjo. Tinubu celebrates Lamido, reaffirms commitment to political inclusion. And that's on page 3. Court sentences man to death for killing friend over cap. And the story is on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. On the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, Nigeria's forex inflow under threat as U.S. mulls 5% on diaspora remittances, a 5% tax on diaspora remittances, and that's on page 5. Nigeria's leaders undermining national security. That's coming from Tony Inyam, and it's on page 34. Over 100 military personnel, 200 civilians killed in 5 months. And that's according to a report, and this story has a rider as Boko Haram again raids 2 military formations in Borno, kills 5 soldiers, injures 6. To check more on the story, check out pages 6 and 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Conference Hall. Experts brainstorm on government performance at midterm today. And that's on page 5. The lead story on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper is a special report with the headline, How Lives Get Wasted Daily on Nigeria's Highways of Horror. And it has a couple of riders. Horrible federal roads in Cross River. Over 150 people burned to death. 100 vehicles wrecked in rivers. North's highways of frequent disasters, death. Lamentations in Southwest. Federal roads of frequent auto crashes in Southeast. Federal government doing its best to fix road infrastructure. And that's coming from Umahi. And the story can be found on pages 14, 15, and 41 of the Vanguard newspaper. Lamido to Tinubu, pay Abiola's family 45 billion naira, federal government holds in. And that's on page 40. Lagos local government polls, protest rocks Agege over alleged imposition of candidate. And that's on page 10. On ending crisis, PDP in ICU may die. This coming from the ex-Benue governor, Suzwam, and that's on page 8. Reps reject bills on rotational presidency. INEC's power to register political parties. And that story is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. The last story on the front page in sports, Egypt 2025, Zubairu promises a more composed Flying Eagles against South Africa. And that's on page 44. And those are the stories across some of our front pages this morning. All right, joining me in the studio this morning is our in-house analyst, Chukwuemeka Munachi. So good morning, Chukwuemeka.
Good morning, Tolu.
Okay, so let's begin with this story on the lead story on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Mass failure. JAMB VCs to review UTME results Thursday. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board will on Thursday review the results of the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination following what it described as unusual public complaints. A notice seen by the Punch in Abuja confirmed that the review meeting would bring together vice-chancellors, provosts, rectors, school principals, examiners and technical experts to scrutinize the examination process and address the widespread dissatisfaction expressed by candidates and stakeholders. This development comes in the wake of mounting protests from candidates and parents over the results released last Friday, with many alleging technical glitches and inconsistencies during the exam. According to the official notice, the review panel, which includes members of the All Nigeria Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools, the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, Computer Professionals Registration Council of Nigeria, the Educational Assessment and Research Network, and top officials from Nigeria's tertiary institutions will evaluate and conduct the conduct and the outcome of the 2025 UTME. I beg your pardon. And it added that the panel's assignment will be at no cost to the board. Now, this is also coming as we saw another headline on the front page of the Guardian newspaper saying that a 19-year-old committed suicide in Lagos over low score. Is this review possibly going to be a solution to the low scores that a lot of students recorded in JAM? Because there's been low scores in the past few years now, and there's always, okay, we're just going to, I think I remember last year there was also a review that didn't really make any change for the students. So should we expect that this one, because of the wide cries for, review of the process and all of the discrepancies that happened with JAM that a lot of candidates reported, should we expect that this is going to actually bring a real solution?
You see, Tolu, in order to answer your question this morning, I want us to understand that when something set up to provide service without actually with an eye on profit making, it is good. But when it suddenly becomes profit-making venture, it becomes a problem. JAMB was never set up to be another oil well for the federal government. But recently, JAMB has become a money spinning machine for the government. And we have started seeing the consequences of that body becoming another oil well for the government, declaring 22 billion, this and that billion, every billion, 6 billion, given to the federal government. Now, unfortunately, this thing has taken life. And this is the reported case. We don't know of other people that may have attempted to take their life or they have taken their lives without newsmen being aware of it. When you I'm so happy that our children are not behaving like us by taking everything and say we leave it in the hand of God. I'm so happy that they are going to court. And because of their determination to go to court, now we are having response. People now, bodies are now coming up, VCs, everybody, they are now gathering everybody to come and vet the questions and look at it once again. Unfortunately, somebody has taken his life over this. Look, Tolu, if you JAMB is, when we're having our program sometime, a child called, 17-year-old child, he said he did his own JAMB at UI. And the student next to him, his computer went blank. And the young man started wailing inside the examination hall. All efforts to revive that computer failed. Now, they will group him among people that failed. Is it his fault? Now, the guy also mentioned about incomplete questions. You see, when we say that Nigeria is being devalued, on all fronts, we are making mockery of everything we touch as in this country. Imagine setting a question, incomplete question, and how will they provide the answer? And unfortunately, the Minister of Education came out to say the mass failure is evidence that we are not checking cheating. Shameful statement from a Minister of Education. Why are they now coming up to gather VCs, principals, proprietors and proprietaries of private schools? Why are they doing that? Because the children have said, we will not take this. If we are doing this in everything that government is doing to Nigerians in this country will sit up. When government bodies come up to do some silly things and the citizens say no, we will go to court, they will sit up. But because we leave everything in the hand of God, now the JAMB is now gathering people to come and look at the you see, Tolu, when we did JAMB in this country, this is not the first time. How much did we pay? All of a sudden, JAMB became an oil well. Children, and another thing again I'm going to advocate for here is this. Let JAMB be like, let it have a lifespan. JAMB as a result. If a child passes JAMB this time, and because, for one reason or the other, he did not go to university, let that result still be relevant for him or her to go to university next year. So that this idea of making money for government will come to an end. Because every now, thousands of millions of 1.9 million children and 1.5 did not score above 200. What does that tell you? It has become a money-making machine. Every year, children gather and take JAMB. Every year, they take JAMB. Let us make it, let it have a lifespan. So that when a child gets JAMB this year, and he did not enter any university, let that result still be relevant. So I am so happy that people are gathering to look at what JAMB has done and look at the cries of these children, because they cried out. If they didn't cry out, this thing would have gone. And everybody they will be blaming the children. Like a lot of people are saying, TikTok, they're always on TikTok, they're always on social media, they're always on this. No! The JAMB is at fault. You gave them incomplete questions. How will they provide an answer? And there are a lot of technical glitches because you are not prepared. You are busy making money for government, and yet you have not prepared for these children to come and look at that child that was taking his exam and the computer went blank. Is it his fault that the computer couldn't work? It's not his fault. And yet he will be grouped among those that failed. And we are saying mass failure. Let's wait and see the outcome of this investigation, if it will see the light of the day. And I'm so happy that the children have taken JAMB to court. Let them go and let brilliant lawyers come out and defend these children so that this nonsense will come to an end. Before you set the exam, you look at the questions and stop giving incomplete questions to students to answer. How will they provide an answer when the questions are incomplete and you say they failed?
You can be a part of the conversation this morning by calling the phone lines 0916 893 1000, 0916 893 1000, or 0916 893 2000, 0916 893 2000. You can also call 0915 333 4893, 0915 333 4893. Drop your WhatsApp messages on 0915 4999 893, 0915 4999 893, and drop your comments on Facebook as well at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Drop your comments right there and we'll be sure to take your comments this morning. Let's move on to the Vanguard newspaper, where we have the headline: Insecurity, over 100 military personnel, 200 civilians killed in 5 months. That's according to a report. And I'll take some of that story. Research experts from next year SPD have reported that over 100 military personnel and 200 civilians were killed by Boko Haram insurgents in Nigeria within 5 weeks. The expert also said between November 2024 and April 2025, more than 252 attacks were recorded, with January 2025 recording the highest number of attacks by terrorist groups. And the next year SPD Policy Weekly Report is where these can be found. The report examines the current counterinsurgency strategy, analyzes the evolving dynamics of insurgency, and proposes a comprehensive framework that integrates military efforts with governance reforms, inclusive dialogue, and socio-economic revitalization. Now, this is also coming at a time when the Senate has demanded for urgent military reinforcement in Borno, Yobe, over Boko Haram resurgence. The Nigerian Senate on Tuesday, which was yesterday, called for immediate redeployment of military personnel and advanced combat equipment to Borno and Yobe states, following a recent spike in deadly Boko Haram attacks in the northeast. And the resolution came after renewed assaults by insurgents, including the killing of over a dozen soldiers in Matetown, Monguno local government area on Monday, May 12, and a subsequent attack on Gajiram, Ngazai local government headquarters the following day. And this was raised by the Senate Chief Whip, Tahir Mongono. It seems like there's no, okay, we have a call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Wells FM.
Good morning.
All right, good morning, Mr. Chukwemeka. This is Salami. I'm calling from Awatan.
Good morning, Mr. Salami.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. I think this morning is on JAMB.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why JAMB had to wait till this damage was done before doing the needful. Ordinarily, one would have expected that since they have noticed the mass failure like that, they probably could have even looked inward and checked their systems. Probably most of these issues that some of the candidates complained about, that system went blank, incomplete question, will have been discovered and will have kind of done the needful within the system before releasing the result. If need be, kind of conduct a make-up exam. I think you understand. Now the damage is done. How can they even redress the issue now, especially now that it has involved life? Look at their boy that just committed suicide. Who's lost? His parent. And probably the nation at large, because we don't know what potential he has for this country. And I went to Mr. Chukwemeka. That was the recorded one. Only God knows how many cases like that have happened, unrecorded. And again, the NOA, these are the things they are supposed to be doing, National Relations Agency. They are supposed to even have come up with some campaigns like this, assuaging people on the need not to take their life. Suicide is not the way. They have to have been sending these messages out. They have to have a program. It's not that they are so reactive when the issue happens. That's when they will go to the stadium and be preaching some messages. Look at Oromi. When Oromi incident happened, now they came up with don't take life, it's not your life, and that. These are the issues they ought to have been addressing. May the good Lord console the parents of the boy that killed himself.
Amen.
But honestly speaking, JAM deserves to pay compensation to the parents of that boy and probably other people that will happen that way. Good morning, boss.
All right, good morning. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, ma.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, ma. This is Ruth from Malacca.
Welcome to the show, Ruth.
Thank you, ma. On the issue of insecurity, the government should be more proactive in tackling this menace of insecurity on time. Most especially by granting the use of local security to tackle this menace, because security is local, and they are the ones that can know the hideouts of these criminal elements. Now that they are now attacking the people, we even hope that they will secure us. What's the next thing by now? So it's high time the federal government, they show more seriousness to government. We can't continue like this and expect different results. They should please have mercy on we, the masses. Good morning, ma'am.
All right, good morning. Thank you so much. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
This is Miriam from Odega.
Welcome to the show, Mariam.
Thank you. Still on JAM's result, it's happening to the mass failure. But I hope that the JAM as a body, if they had put in place unnecessary measures, then the house would have been called. So I want to implore them to learn from this and correct their wrongs from the next year exam.
All right, thank you so much for that, Mariam. So back to the issue of insecurity. Now, this report is one that is, really disheartening, especially with the fact that another set of soldiers were killed in another onslaught on military bases earlier this week. Now, this is, I want us to pick it with the fact that beyond the Boko Haram insurgents, now on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, Rivers women protest abduction of 8 students traveling for Wasi. And then there's also another story that kidnappers invaded FCT community, kill 3, abduct 1. Hello?
Hello. This is me. I'm calling back.
Okay, welcome back.
And as regards insecurity, sincerely, to totally curb insecurity, the security personnel needs to be on top of their game. They shouldn't wait for these bandits, terrorists to launch their attacks before they prepare or retaliate. And also, federal government should know that security is local, so they should consider all means to tackle it locally, so that Nigeria will be at peace. Well done.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, if you look at our security problem, it didn't start today. This insurgency, it did not start. And there's something Abacha said. Abacha said, if an insurgency lasts for more than 24 hours, he said, know that government has a hand in it. That's what Abacha said. And our lawmakers are planning for security summit, which I describe as a money guzzling venture. Do we need security to know what we need to do? We don't need it. This is another way of wasting people's money. And let me tell you something. Buhari's open invitation to all people to come to Nigeria added to what we are having today. And unfortunately, he's not West and not East are the most affected. You are asking people the military people are, how many killed in 5 weeks? How many? Wasting, how many of them are killed? 100 killed in 5 weeks. And we have gone into, you ask the people to come with NIN, BVN, all the things you told us that, look, when we have all these things, kidnapping and everything will come to an end. And you know what? The security agencies, according to telcos, according to the chairman of Association of Licensed Telcos Operators of Nigeria, Benga Adebayo, he said the security agencies have never come to them to ask for the geolocation of where these calls are coming from, and that they are not to be running around catching thieves like Nigerians are blaming them. Nigerians are saying, we have NIN. Why can't telcos help us? Telcos cannot help you if the security operatives have not come to make a demand for where such calls are coming from. He said that they have not come. So what stopped them from going to these people to ask for where the calls are coming from?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Sulaiman Sherikwan from Nara.
Welcome to the show.
See, the issue of insecurity, I don't know what to say again. Within 5 days, they attack our military men. It's very worrisome. If they attack our military men within 5 days, what is the fate of the common man, the civilian? See, the best attack is to make the best defense, to make prompt attack to those enemies. I think it's the high time to Mr. President and call the security chief to plan ahead, because they need to be proactive now. Not only that, our border is very porous. They need to work something on it. And all the money allocated to our security agency, they need to make a proper monitoring, not to misuse it in another direction. Like what Ali said, I agree with Tabaya said. If terrorists last for 24 hours, government know about it. Maybe within the Tinubu government, they also have Boko Haram. We don't know. It is time to let us out this stand now, because security architecture of this country is totally collapsed. So Mr. President wants to pay in that direction, which is very bad, because the first responsibility of a responsible government is the protection of lives and property of the citizens. And it is failed in that direction. That's my own submission.
Major General Marcos Kangia said that 4 military personnel were arrested sometime for leaking information to the terrorists. You see, so everything comes, and even these attacks, everything is within. And you are asking Nigerian youth to come and join. Who will join when they see that even people are dying like flies? Nobody will join. You understand? We have spent trillions. We keep on throwing money into security. And government appears to be an incubator of corruption. Because all the money we have spent on security, are we secured? We are not secured. Now, there is no social, economic, or political framework to tackle this insecurity that is ravaging the land. And how will people come here to invest when we are not when we, the people, are not secured? So it's a question of government rising up, and I don't see this administration tackling this insecurity. I don't see, because I've not seen anything that they have done so far, apart from gathering platitudes. Something happened in Benue, in Plateau, we bring them to book like we usually hear during Buhari regime. Okay,
so this even the security summits that the Senate
is a waste of time. Is the money guzzling venture. What are you submitting? The summit is for what? You know already what is going on. You know that the soldiers are being killed. You know that they are infiltrators into the military. You know that we have spent 4.91 trillion on this insecurity, and yet things are going out of control. So there is no need for summit. They know already what to do. I give it to Engineer Abaribe and Ningi. For them standing up to say that, look, we don't need summit in order to know what to do about insecurity.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, West Radio.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is George. I'm calling you from Oloyede.
Welcome to the show.
We all know the role Nigerian soldiers have been playing in all the problems of insecurity within the West Africa or even Africa for a very long time now. Now, we are now being overwhelmed by people whom we know where they are coming from, and we are not able to curtail them. Can't we also seek help from other people? We have been sending our troops out for peacekeeping and maintaining peace in other countries, even at civil war. Why are we not seeking help to to stop this killing of our children. These people, they are not able to. If you open your phone today, you will see the number of towns and villages they have, the ISWAP and Boko Haram has overrun in the northeast. And yet, we are not seeking help. And we are allowing our children to be killed. And you are still asking for people to release their children to come and join the force. Which type of leadership are we having? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. George from
So according to, I was saying something before we went on that. Gbenga Adebayo is the chairman of Association of Licensed Telecoms Operators of Nigeria. He said that the security agencies have not come to them to ask for geolocation of events, and they didn't refuse to give them. So why are security agents not going to these telco operators to ask for where are these calls coming from? Where did this kidnapping take place? So there is a problem. So that because insecurity now has become a huge industry and there are a lot of stakeholders. That's why all our expectations that when we do NIN, BVN and all these things, we will clap hand and say, yes, that this thing will come to an end. But it appears to be increasing because the people are not making use of what is on the ground.
Okay, let's talk to this person. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. This is Adedamola from Muslim.
Welcome to the show, Adedamola.
Thank you. Yeah, on the issue of insecurity, until the approval of state police, that's when we can have rest of mind on insecurity. Because killings and kidnappings has not been the order of the day. So there's no day that we do not hear on the news that they killed or they kidnapped, which is not a good one. So state police should be approved. If state police is approved, at least we will have rest of mind on insecurity facing the country. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much.
You see, there is also something about this.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to the analyst.
Good morning, sir.
You see, with the analysis you have already given to every Nigerian, reasonable Nigerian this morning, I can deduce that there are enemies within and enemies outside. It is the traitors within that is helping the enemies outside. And with what we have heard, what have we done to those people who started this thing within the country? What has the government done to them? And they are moving around scot-free. So they have planted them here and there, informants here and there, to leak oil everything. Which summit are they doing again? So the next thing the government should do is to take a very serious action against the enemies within, so that we can decisively deal with the enemies outside. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much.
So, as I was saying, people asking for state police, there is a lot in state police. We always say that governors are the chief security officers of the state, but that power is not structurally guaranteed in the Constitution. Unless it is guaranteed in the Constitution, that is when they will become chief security officers of the state. And it must be guaranteed in the Constitution so that it will be justiciable, so that the federal government will not unilaterally take it up. You understand? So if we are asking for state police, it's not just to recruit people and give them arms. There are certain things we need to touch in our Constitution so that it will give teeth to the state governors to actually do the needful when they need the rises to secure their space. But as far as it is now in Nigeria, like people are saying, government, the government is not looking into the way of securing this state, because if they know what to do. All eyes are on 2027. If you look at the body language of our leaders, it is about 2027, and people are dying. And the military came up to tell us that these people doing some of these things are from outside. Then, what have you done against them? Because it appears you have failed to protect the territorial integrity of this country. Now, Nigerians every corner of this country is not secure. People cannot travel. And yet, we are releasing trillions for security. What has happened? who has been brought to book. Nuhu Ribadu told us that some of these things brought into the country to fight insurgents end up in the hand of non-state actors who has been arrested and who has been prosecuted and jailed, so that Nigerians will know that, oh, these are the people taking our arms to fight us again. But we look at all these things. You are talking of summit. What will summit do? Is it summit that will tell that we release, take the welfare of the military serious, let them go to the war front, because it is war. Nigeria is out. My fear is that we are inching closer to Sudanese tragedy. I pray we will not come to that level, because we don't seem to, we down here, we don't seem to understand what the people in the northeast and northwest are going through. They are Nigerians. Because over there now, people are leaving their communities. Benue State people are running away from their communities for people to, and Benue State Governor, Reverend Hyacinth earlier, he came up sometime to say the languages of these people we don't sound like Nigerian languages. Before the military came up to say they are not Nigerians. Then what have you done? If they are not Nigerians, are they allowed to come here? How did they enter the porous borders? How did they enter into Nigeria and they are killing people? How did they enter? Are Nigerians allowed to take, because it will be suicidal if Nigerians are allowed to defend themselves, because we have a government that should do this. But what are we? We are losing lives. And at the same time, you are asking young people to come and join the military. How would they join? When they see that people are dying, they can't join. And not that we don't have the number. Nigerian army, they have what it takes. We have done it in Sierra Leone. We did it in Liberia. We did it in Republic of in Congo in the 60s. And yet we cannot even defend our home. So what has gone wrong? That's why I said that a massive corruption going on, which we don't know. And people that started this Boko Haram, Nigeria, if Nigeria is a state that is strong, they will go after people who started this, because people started it. And then it has spread. Now we have like Ruwa, we have Mamuda, as in Kwara State. We have all shades of terrorists coming into that's why Benin Republic closed their border. That they don't want what is happening in Nigeria to happen in their country. And we are talking about 2027. That is the thing. That's the tragedy of our country. Our leaders must wake up and address this insecurity problem holistically so that we have a breather. Because economy cannot grow if there's no security. There's no way. People will not come in here to invest. When they read all this news, it is this country that Major General, as retired, was kidnapped. And the debate was, we didn't pay ransom. We paid ransom. For the fact that a Major General was kidnapped is a shame. And now they have overrun military base in Borno. And we are still talking of summit. What summit? For goodness sake.
You can still be a part of the conversation by calling the phone lines 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-1000, or 0916-893-2000, 0916-893-2000, or 0915-333-4893, 0915-333-4893. Drop your WhatsApp messages on 0915-499-893, 0915-499-893. Hello? Okay, we lost our call. Do well to call back. You can drop your comments on Facebook as well at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. At Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Wells Radio.
Good morning.
Good morning, Emeka.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Tony from Oloyede.
Welcome to the show, sir.
I just want to ask, can a non-actor be able to drive armor tank that they are able to take away some armor tank? That is a compromise, even from the military. Because it shows that those who are able to drive such, operate such a machine, must have a knowledge of them. Well, God will help us.
Amen. Thank you very much, sir. All right, let's move to the Punch newspaper. Reps shoots down bill seeking rotational presidency. The House of Representatives on Tuesday rejected a constitutional amendment bill seeking to mandate the rotation of the offices of the president and vice president among the 6 geopolitical zones. The bill was one of the 7 proposed constitutional amendments listed for consideration during the plenary session presided over by Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu All 7 bills were ultimately rejected. However, the House resolved to reconsider the bills individually on their merits during Wednesday's sitting, that's today. And to facilitate more efficient debates, the House had earlier suspended its rules to allow simultaneous discussion of the constitutional amendment bills, permitting members to focus on any of the 7 proposals. The rotational presidency bill attracted the most attention, sparking a contentious debate. And leading the opposition to the proposal was Deputy Minority Leader Aliyu Madaki, who argued that the principle of equitable representation was already covered by the Federal Character Commission. What does this mean?
You see, Tolu, if these people are a bunch of serious human beings, they should drop this idea of do all these debates about rotation or no rotation and face Nigeria is facing existential threat. We are in an emergency situation when it comes to insecurity. This is not the time for them to be talking of a rotational presidency. What are you rotating when there's no state? When the state is overrun by armed insurgents and terrorists and bandits and armed headers, and you are talking of rotation of as a presidency. If I'm in that house, I will tell them that, look, drop this thing we are talking. Let us face what is facing us right now. This thing they are talking about has no basis in logic. Let us face the problem of insecurity. Nigerians are dying. Our soldiers are dying. There are a lot of widows in army barracks. Let us face it and let us forget about the rotation. We will have the state first before we talk of rotation, of presidency. But they are so obsessed with the power. Because there's no responsibility in leadership in Nigeria. Let them stop this rotation of nonsense. Let us talk of Nigeria. How do we secure our space? How will our people live? How will the farmers go to farm in the north? How will people travel in the south here? How will Nigerians as move around without being kidnapped? How do we bring people here to come and invest, telling them that we are secured? We are talking of rotation of presidency. Your house is on fire and you are chasing rat. Is that a normal thing to do? That's not a normal thing to do. So if there are people that are serious about this country, they should stop every talk about everything that has nothing to do with security. Face security squarely. Call the Minister of Defense, Badaru, and all the people involved with security. What is your problem? What do we need? Because it's an emergency situation. We are talking of rotation of presidency. Is it not when we have a country, we have... let's also continue, Jerry.
Hello.
George calling back.
Welcome back.
I feel your pain, my brother. I feel your pain. How will they stop discussing rotational presidency? Is that not their business? That's where they are making their money from. They don't mind what is happening. When I read from my phone in the night that 2 villages has been overrun and military base within that area were ransacked and the soldiers were running away, an army captain was killed plus another soldier man, I felt very bad because I know what our soldiers can do. We know what they did outside this country and how they were praised. Are you seeing this type of thing happening in Nigeria now, happening in Ghana? Did you see it happen in Ghana? Or which other West African country are you hearing this story continuously every day of? And yet, we cannot have people around us to come and assist us to quell this particular problem. And they are coming through our neighboring countries into Nigeria. We have sold ourselves, please. We have sold ourselves to our leaders. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. George.
So that's the right thing to do. You don't chase rat when your house is on fire. Forget about rotational or no rotational. There must be a country first, well secured. And these people that are dying are people's children. They are brothers. Imagine if it is your own child or brother or somebody related to you. You will be sad. And I keep saying it. The death of every Nigerian is the death of all of us because of our shared humanity, irrespective of religion or tribe or wherever the person is coming from. When the Nigerians is being killed, we all share in it, and we have turned our country into a killing field, and yet there is government that's supposed to protect all of us.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, and once again, I can say that in everything or before any other thing, security is to be the first thing. life and property. You see, without security, other things cannot be in place. So but I'm sorry for this country because the National Assembly knows what to do under the Constitution, but they deliberately deviated from it. So I don't know where the country is heading to and where they wanted the country to be. If the country, may God forbid bad things, if the country collapses, can they escape it? So they cannot escape. So I think they should have another thought over what is happening now and make a change of attitude. So the Constitution is clear for them to know what to do. But why should they just leave it that way? So I don't know who will talk to them again. They are already defiant of what is happening. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution once again. Okay, quickly before we go on the show, cash transfer missed millions of needy Nigerians, and that's coming from the World Bank. So the World Bank has faulted the federal government's conditional cash transfer program, stating that initiative failed to reach millions of Nigerians in need of urgent economic relief, as only 37% of the targeted households had so far benefited from the scheme. And they said that the scheme launched in 2023 after the abrupt removal of fuel subsidy and unification of the foreign exchange market by the current administration, only reached 5.6 million households out of the planned 15 million 2 years after the launch.
They even tried to reach 5 point something. You see, this cash transfer thing has never been a way to help the poor. You know why I'm against it? There's no data. There's nothing, we don't even know how many we are as a people. Our census is fraught with deceit. We don't know how many we are. How do you go and carry money in a bag and be sharing to people? You don't have data. How do you do it? Professor Yomi Oshibajo was going from market to market, trader money and all the money. Nigeria reduced a professor to a money bag, sharing money in the market. At the end of the day, how many people benefited from that? Now we started again from that thing, and we didn't hear again about Better Edu. We didn't hear all the people that handled this kind of money. Go and check how they ended up. It is not possible for us to succeed because there's no data. If we are sincere, and that everything starts from leadership. If we sit, that's why I keep advocating Tolu. We must sit down as Nigerians and ask ourselves: Are we really truly ready to have a country? So that we know how many people are living in Oloyede Estate. Where are they living? This man, do you know why they removed Festus Odumegu as the chairman of Nigerian Population Commission? The man said, "Let us put religion and tribe in our sense." They said no, that we don't need religion, we don't need tribe. They removed him. Go and ask Kwakwansu why that man. They prevailed on Jonathan to remove him because the man wanted to put certain things that will help us to know actually how many we are in this country. Where are these people living? How many youths? How many elderly? How many women? How many women? We don't even know. You carry money and enter. You say you are sharing money. They even tried to give up to 5%. 5%. They tried. You understand?
At least 5.6.
You know, they tried. So it is not the government. If they want to do such a thing, we have BVN, we have NIN, we have all these things they can use. But no, they won't use it. The money will end up in the hand of people who don't even need it.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Tolu. May God save Nigeria.
All right. Thank you so much to everyone who has been a part of the show today. Perspectives Unlimited returns tomorrow at exactly 6:30 a.m. As I would always say, wherever you find yourself, always do your best to put Nigeria out there in good light. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. I am Toluwaleke Ali. Have a blessed day.
to the same old content? Tune in to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, the only radio other radio stations listen to.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Hello, everybody. My name is Aki Lewis, and you know me. You're listening to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, and it is called your preferred wholesome radio. So keep it locked. Stay tuned. This is the radio you've been waiting for.
عن الكثير لإسبانيول. ضاعت الكرة من جانبي إسبانيول. تمريرة خابئة صدمت في الدفاع. رونالدو كريستيانو على اليمين. رونالدو مر. رونالدو عدى بمهارة. يا عيني يا كريستيانو. جميلة من رونالدو هذا كله، والكل يقول أن ليس في مستواه. هذا الهدف عدى من الأول. رونالدو مر. جميلة من رونالدو، جميلة من كريستيانو.
Ja cap a la dreta per Xavi. Assistència de Xavi, més cap a la dreta per Messi. Immens Messi. Encara Messi. Encara Messi. Increïble. No m'ho puc.
For Selko. Here's Mbappe. Teenage kicks. The ultimate teenage kick.
Nani. Rooney. Oh, wonderful. What a goal. At what a time. In what a place. What a player. Wayne Rooney out of this world. 2-1 United. One of the great goals in the history of the Manchester Derby.
Let's talk sports on this beautiful dial. It's another wonderful morning here. It's Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred Sam Radio. Welcome to M Sports, your favorite and regular morning sports show. My name is Sam Adelere.